until the end. But if there's something that just doesn't make sense at all, you're experiencing any technical difficulties, you can also address that through the chat. You all will be muted during this part of the presentation just because, again, we've got a lot of that content to get through. And we want to make sure that there's not any disturbances through multiple lines. We've got a lot of attendees today, so we're really excited. But yeah, we'll get started now. We're going to jump right in. And first off, we'd like to thank you all for taking some time out of your day to attend this webinar. We're really, really excited about you all joining and being able to share some of this information with you. So my name is Brian Rakuda. I'm Executive Vice President at Service Globe. I'm joined today by Srini Kata, who is our founder and also technical architect for a lot of the interesting products and solutions that we're going to talk about today. Focus of today, as all of you know, is the integration between Google Apps and SAP, a big topic of conversation now for a lot of customers who are going, to Google Apps. A lot of you all are probably established SAP customers, ERP, CRM for years, and some of you have recently migrated to Google Apps. Some of you are considering the migration to Google Apps. Our goal today is really just to give you a pretty broad overview of the different solution and integration options that are available to you today, and even some of the custom integration options. So we're not going to go too deep into any particular products. We're going to do a quick demo of one of our products, G-Connect, which is the synchronization tool between SAP CRM and Google Apps. But other than that, we're going to kind of lightly touch on each of the different products and solution options, just so you guys could really get a good breadth of the options that are at your disposal. So, quick overview of the agenda. Want to just give you an introduction on who we are, who iService Globe is, how we got your email address, why we're inundating you with emails, and all that good stuff. Also then, as I mentioned, quick overview of G-Connect. That's the synchronization tool between SAP CRM and Google Apps, followed by just talking about other products that we've released that integrate Google Apps and SAP, and then some of the custom integration options, some of the solutions that we've devised. And finally, we'll end with a Q&A. Our goal is to get you out of here, by 1:50. So that's the goal. Please hold me to it, and if I hold you too long, then feel free to yell and send angry messages in the chat window. So first, iService Globe. Who are we? Overview of who we are. We're an IT solutions company. We've been in business now for practically a decade, and we started in the SAP space, doing large-scale implementations of SAP CRM, SAP ERP, and through that, we really started expanding to other areas of enterprise applications as well. And our focus this entire time has been, how can we utilize IT to address complex business problems? So at the end of the day, all of us are in this room today, all of us are listening to the webinar, because we actually have business functions and business needs. You want to increase sales. You want to improve your ability to deliver customer service. All of these things are the business needs. Well, what can IT do to kind of help you along that path? And that's what our focus has been for the last decade. We've got international experience. So while we are a somewhat small company, we have international experience conducting large-scale implementations throughout the globe. We've worked in over 130 countries, multiple languages, more languages that I even knew existed. We've implemented large applications in those types of languages. So we have a global reach with offices throughout the United States, India, and in the UK as well. Our focus really has been on innovation, and the reason you all here today is specifically to talk about some of the applications and some of our experience with the integration between Google Apps and SAP. As a quick highlight, we were the first company to develop the first SAP certified solution that synchronizes SAP and Google Apps. So also we're the first company to develop the first SAP certified mobile app that syncs between Google Apps and Android and SAP as well. So we're really excited about these products, and we'll be touching on those. As part of that, Srini Kata, I'm happy to have him on the call. He was the technical architect behind G-Connect and everything, and so I'm going to pass the ball on to you, Srini, and if you could take us through G-Connect in the demo as well.
Thank you so much, Brian. And going to walk you through a couple of more slides before I get into the demo. I just want to briefly touch on the architecture of G-Connect. G-Connect, and most of you have been using either Microsoft Exchange or Lotus Notes for integrating your emails, contacts, and appointments with SAP CRM or SAP for that matter. The traditional Microsoft Exchange integration, or the typically it is called groupware integration, is based on SAP's traditional middleware architecture. What it does is, you need to have 3 more boxes for you to synchronize, emails, contacts, and calendar from either Lotus Notes or Microsoft Exchange. And in the last 10 years, we have provided a lot of consulting in fixing these Microsoft Exchange issues and Lotus Notes issues. And some of the issues never went away. And they keep cropping, and they need to call these consultants to come in and help them to solve those issues. And when we embarked on this journey about providing a tool to connect Google Apps with SAP, when we saw that a lot of SAP customers started moving to Google Apps, and particularly retiring their Lotus Notes and Microsoft Exchange, one of the things we have strongly analyzed and worked on was what kind of architecture we want to include into this one. So the first and foremost, based on our experiences, rule out using the SAP's traditional middleware architecture, which requires a couple of more boxes, and there is a lot of data redundancy and replications which are unnecessary that would happen with this groupware integration. So we went straight and said, let's build a cloud app, an app that resides in the cloud, wherein we will be able to make these updates as and when required, and these updates would be seamlessly available for all the customers at a time, rather than trying to fix this issue customer by customer. And that also, we totally bypassed the traditional groupware integration, and we went to with these web services. So all we did was, making the Google APIs calling in SAP's web services in the cloud. So what's the advantage? As if you are already using Google Apps, you might have noticed that Google is striving hard to access all the available, communication software, whether Microsoft Exchange, Office 365. So they are releasing a lot of updates to those APIs and UIs. Have you seen it? So almost our experience is, and every 6 weeks there is an update coming from Google, either on the Gmail, contacts, or calendar. So it will be very difficult for an enterprise to keep updating for all these good updates. They make the functionalities much better, but keeping yourself in the pace of updating every 6 weeks is not an easy job. So in the cloud, we keep watching what's been updated, and if there is an update, for example, up until now, Google did not allow us, like push notification, right? Whenever there is an update to the calendar, we need to poll and find out, is there any update? So it's always a pull, and we were polling Google. Google now came up with a solution that with the Google Calendar, you don't need to poll anymore. We're going to push whenever there's an update. So that's a great enhancement. And let's say if there are 100 customers, they are using, each customer on an on-premise system, they have to update their services. But because this is a cloud app, we're going to update in the cloud. For one time, all our customers will get that benefit right away, so that they will be able to synchronize real-time Google Calendar appointments. So these are certain advantages, and also you avoid all those 3, boxes running, Windows operating system and things like that, and you don't need to worry about that. So that's the critical advantage of having a cloud-based integration app. So that's the background, and I will also show you a couple of things. This app is tested and available for CRM 6.0, CRM 7.0, CRM 7.0 Enhancement Pack 1, and Enhancement Pack 2. And also this is a bi-directional synchronization tool. That means it does integration from both ends, from Google to SAP and from SAP to Google. And also it allows you update create and delete in the appointments. It syncs the emails, and also it syncs the contacts. So if you see, this is the cloud-based app, so that's the greatest advantage with the G-Connect compared to the traditional groupware integration software that is available out there. As I already talked about it, these are the versions of SAP CRM that is being supported, and by nature of being a cloud app, you don't need to have an extensive in-house IT support. For example, to work with the Google Apps, you need to have a Python experienced developers and all those things. You don't need to build them internally, because we take care about that. Once the customers start using the G-Connect, it's our responsibility to make sure that the app is up to date. And the app has two components. One is the cloud component. The other one is an add-on that we install on the SAP CRM system. The installation would go in less than 4 hours. We give detailed documentation. Your basis person would be able to install using our standard documentation. So that's the architecture talk, and I just want to talk about one component to give an idea about how advanced this tool is. As you know, that Google Contacts is customer not centric, it's contact focused or contact centric, which is a Web 2.0 tool. We do business with the contacts. Entity is just a shell. So obviously, but SAP CRM is a traditional enterprise software. It actually starts with an account. You create an account, you create a contact, and set up a relationship between this account and contact. That's how the account and contacts are managed within SAP CRM. But from Google Contact, we have the contact. The only pieces of information that talks about the company is name of the company, the position of contact company, the work phone number, work address, work email ID, work fax, and the URL of company. So these are the pieces of information that talks about the company. The rest of the information talks about the contact. So we have to marry Google Contact into SAP CRM account and SAP CRM contact. In the contact mapping that we are showing here does exactly the same. So it kind of demerges the account and contact and creates an account and contact in SAP CRM. When the update is coming from SAP CRM, it actually merges the account and contact, creates one record in Google Contacts. So, so this is just a piece of puzzles we solved with the G-Connect. So I'm going to do a simple demo. As Brian said, the goal is not to show an exhaustive demo of G-Connect, which we could do if you have further interest in small groups. But I'm going to go and just create a contact in SAP CRM and show that how that syncs into Google Contacts. So that's what we're going to do today. All right, so I am in my SAP CRM system. What I'm going to do is, in 2 steps, I'm going to create the account first, and then I'm going to create a contact within that account. So, and then sync that contact to Google Contacts and see how that works. So I'm going to create a corporate account. I'm just giving my latest prospect Worko, and their address is 123 Franklin Street, 94089 is the postal code. City is Oakland. I'm going to give the phone number 510. All right, so I think I'm done entering the account information. I'm going to save this. Right, account has been created. Now I'm going to create a contact within this account, Worko. last name Jordan. Function SAP CRM Manager. Right. Email ID is brian@workcode.com. So I'm also want to add, when you create a contact within an account within standard SAP CRM, it doesn't allow us to enter the home address. I'm also going to enter the home address information so that you can see how this gets synchronized with the Google contact. So not only the work address, so the work address, it is already copied in here. I'm going to put home address here, 4389, hide comments, Fremont. So I'm going to give a private mobile number here, 510-987-6543. Email, I'm going to give an email that I can access just in case if anybody wants to see further information. So I given a private email ID. So there is a work email ID. There is a private email ID. This contact is ready. I'm going to save this contact. See here the message, press G-Sync button to sync with Google. So what we did was, we given an option that we don't want to sync automatically every contact to SAP CRM to Google. We want that to be manually done, but if any customer wants to synchronize every contact created in SAP CRM to sync automatically, we can do that. But for the purpose of the sales executive or user making the decision, we given the G-Sync button. They simply press the G-Sync button. So now it says that SAP CRM contact updated in Google. So now we're going to go to Google and let's check for Brian Jordan. I'm going to type in so this is the Brian Jordan. See his title, his company name, his home, his work email ID, his mobile number, his work number, his work address, his home address. Everything has been copied. So this is the power of G-Connect. It merges and demerges and syncs the contacts. Like these emails, we provide bidirectional synchronization of emails. For instance, I can go here and the important aspect is actually this suggestion came from one of our customers. They said that when I send an email from SAP CRM, I want that email to be synced to my sent folder so that I have one place to look. All the emails that I exchanged are sent either from Google or from my SAP CRM in one sent folder. So we provided that functionality. I'm just going to send one email, and then you would see that email is going to appear in my sent folder. So I'm going to go back into, so now I'm just going to click on this one. I'll just send an email. Sending email from SAP CRM. By the way, I can also make attachments, and attachments also get synced. For the fun sake, I'm just going to make an attachment from my desktop. Add. Hello, Brian. What's your availability for a call tomorrow? Send. So the email has been sent. I'm going to go back into my sent mail. See, sending email from SAP CRM appeared right away into the sent mail folder. So likewise, I can also set up an appointment. An appointment gets synced into the Google Calendar. I'm going to quickly do that. And you can update the appointment in Google, and it gets synchronized to SAP CRM. Let me see here. So I'm here. I'm actually going to planned activities. I'm going to create an outbound appointment because I'm sending this. So the outbound appointment is all the appointment that a user sets up with the contacts and anybody is an outbound. Inbound appointment is when a customer or a prospect sends an invite, for a demo or things like that, they get created as inbound appointment. So you have clear touch points and how many times customer has touch based with you and how many times your sales executive has touch based with customer or a prospect. So there's a clear number. What is the communication rate? If the communication is healthy or not, you can find out by having this demo of Connect. Location, go to meeting. I'm going to give $18 hours. Please find the meeting details. So 18 is 6 o'clock, 10:29. So I'm going to save this. So I'm going to go back into my, this is calendar. See, demo of G-Connect, 6 p.m. So this is how the sync works, and obviously, if you see here, we've given a sidebar gadget, and sometimes you don't have a prospect or contact record existing in SAP system. So I just want to give a little bit about background how it syncs. What it does is now Brian Jordan is in Google Contacts. Whenever there is an appointment, whether coming from Brian Jordan or let's say one of your employees setting up with Brian Jordan, what it's going to do is this contact, does any of these email IDs exist in Google Contacts? If it exists in Google Contacts, then it sends that email, that appointment to SAP CRM for syncing. So by the way, you may be wondering how it is going to differentiate whether a contact is from SAP CRM or not. So this simply, we use the SAP Google's standard labeling functionality. So I'm going to take you back into contacts. If you see here, there is a label called SAP CRM Apply. So you may have, you see here, I have 4,881 contacts in my contacts, but not everything has been synced with SAP CRM. If you see, there are only 340 contacts that have been synced with SAP CRM. So unless otherwise the user applies the SAP CRM label, even though it is created in Google Contacts, it is not going to be synchronized. So whenever there is an appointment, it actually checks if this Brian Jordan email at, let's say, brian@workco.com exists in the SAP CRM address group or not. If it exists, then only it syncs. So in one of our customers asked that, sometimes we know that we don't have a prospect or contact saved into the SAP CRM address, but we want to sync that appointment to SAP CRM because we think that's an important, we need to capture those touch points. So what we do is we give an option for them to sync manually by using that sidebar gadget. So they say, press the sync now button. Then it's going to sync even though the contact doesn't exist. This is just an additional option. And also what it does is once you sync one time, it thinks this is an important one. And what it does is, you see here other SAP CRM contacts, it's going to put in other SAP CRM contacts. And after this, if there is an update that is coming in, that update should be automatically synced because you already made the choice that I want to sync this appointment. So Brian, back to you. That's the demo.
All right. Thank you, Srini. Thank you for the demo. Appreciate that. Switch back. Okay. So as Srini mentioned, G-Connect was really one of our first real introductions to providing this integration work between SAP and Google Apps. The result, though, was exciting for us. And what we realized is, hey, we gained this really niche expertise with Google Apps, in working with Google Apps APIs. And then also just from our ingrained experience with SAP, our technical team had that as well. And so we developed a couple other products that also, again, we won't go into demos on these really, but just wanted to quickly highlight them. So along with G-Connect, over the past couple of years, we also released a mobile app, as you can tell by the name, called MoGo Mobile, and a CRM app called MoGo CRM. I'm going to touch on both of these really quickly. Their highlights, though, are kind of this bridge that each of them draw between Google Apps and SAP. So first, on MoGo Mobile, one of the issues that you probably have and that we continually saw with users in the field when it came to mobile applications is, hey, there was a ton of mobile applications on the market, but and they even synced to existing CRM applications, specifically like SAP. But a lot of our customers and some of your users may be complaining as well that the mobile apps just try to replicate these CRM applications on a mobile device. So, I mean, the UI of SAP sometimes is a bit clunky enough and requires too many clicks enough when you're looking at it on your laptop. When you try to do those same functions on your mobile phone or on your tablet, it becomes exhaustive, it becomes annoying, and it becomes, really, really kind of a barrier to wanting to use those mobile applications. So what we did was really surveyed the field of sales users, a lot of users just like you, sales users who are in the field, and we try to fundamentally understand, well, what are users in the field doing, and how do they need to use their mobile device to really get the real value, and make sure then that those activities are captured within CRM. So the answer to that was MoGo Mobile. And what we did with MoGo Mobile, and I'm not going to touch on every single detail, I'm just going to highlight a few of the main points, is one, we wanted to make sure that you would be able to catch all the touch points with your prospects. Incoming calls, outgoing calls. Well, when you're sitting at a desk, it's really easy to capture all those touch points. When you're in the field, in your car, texting while driving or any of that, it's a little harder. And so we wanted to make sure that, hey, if you get an incoming call from a particular prospect or you make an outgoing call to a particular prospect, that call would get synced as an outbound or inbound activity within SAP. Well, MoGo Mobile helps achieve that. Also, appointments. A lot of times you're in the field and you may want to schedule an appointment, or you get an on-the-fly call again and you need to schedule an appointment with a particular prospect. Well, you could wait till you get back to your desk and then schedule that in your calendar and everything, or put that within SAP. Or with MoGo Mobile, utilizing, again, the synchronization between your Google Apps calendar and SAP. You use the calendar in your mobile device, which will then sync, to your Google Apps calendar, and also sync at the same time to the SAP CRM calendar, so that those are going to be logged as appointments. Kind of a cool little function that we just like to highlight with MoGo Mobile as well is the suggestions on meeting places. And so a lot of times, say you're in Chicago, for example, it's your quarterly trip to Chicago to meet with a set of prospects, and there's certain restaurants that you always want to meet particular prospects at because it's close to their office location, or maybe it's a particular coffee shop that has some great coffee. And MoGo Mobile will help suggest those based upon your geography, based upon where you are, and based upon who that prospect is you're scheduling that meeting with. And so you're going to get that suggestion so that you don't have to rely on your own memory. I know I don't like relying on my own memory for practically anything these days. And so MoGo Mobile helps you also take that responsibility off your own mind. MoGo CRM, again, this was really designed to address what we saw as a gap. So SAP, many of you are SAP customers and probably have experience with the customer service module. The SAP CRM customer service module is probably one of the best in the industry. And obviously we're biased with our long-standing partnership with SAP, but we've seen that even from our customers' standpoint too. They tend to be really, really happy with the customer service module, but not so much when it comes to SAP's Salesforce automation functionality. And so what we've seen over the last few years is a growing trend of SAP customers that were also getting Salesforce licenses for the Salesforce automation component. The problem what we saw and the complaints we were getting from a lot of customers is this is ridiculously expensive, because not only have they already purchased the licenses, for SAP CRM and SAP ERP, now they've got the subscription to Salesforce, which is not cheap when you're talking about the enterprise level subscription. Plus, they're coming to a company like us for the integration between the Salesforce automation components of Salesforce and SAP, their existing SAP installation. So this just pushed the price tag way up. Well, we wanted to fill this gap, and that's where MoGo CRM came into the picture. We made this tightly integrated with Google Apps, of course. Our team had already cut their teeth with all the Google Apps APIs, so this integration was pretty simple for us to achieve, and we were able to create a very streamlined system. So, with basic things such as the email address alone, which will then be, is already stored in Google Apps, we can show a whole lot. We can show, provide easy reminders for existing contacts if they already exist in Google Contacts. A real-world example of that is, you meet a new prospect or you get a call from a prospect, you're going to enter them into SAP CRM. Well, if that, in this case with MoGo Mobile, if you're going to enter them into MoGo CRM, sorry, that you will actually get the alert that this contact already exists, and you'll get alerted of any existing relationships that some of your counterparts at your company may have with this existing contact, all from the email address. We've also tightly integrated some social components as well. Obviously, social media is huge right now, Twitter, LinkedIn. And so with, again, the email address, you're going to see LinkedIn degrees of contact through MoGo CRM. You're going to see whether or not you're connected in a first or second degree to this particular prospect. And it's just going to really empower you to bring immediate connections that you might have with a particular prospect. Really quickly, too, I just want to show you how tightly integrated this actually is with Google Apps. And so I'm bringing up my inbox. This is my actual inbox and everything. And you'll notice just on the sidebar, you'll see an option for MoGo CRM. And here, directly from here, you could launch into MoGo CRM. And I'll just click it here. Not going to go through the actual demo side of it at all or anything. Just want to show you how easy it is to pull up the CRM screen right from Google Apps. Tightly integrated, and makes it really, really simple. So if any of you are interested in seeing any more on that, we could definitely do that offline or schedule a separate webinar for that. But just wanted to kind of touch on those in the tight integration that we have with some of our existing products and Google Apps in SAP. So what's the end result? The end result is that going to Google Apps or having Google Apps, for those of you who are already migrated to Google Apps, no longer means disjointed integration between SAP and your applications. There can be seamless integration, and many times we could give you more functionality and better integration than what you're used to seeing between Microsoft Exchange and SAP. So now I want to kick it back over to Srini, who's going to talk about some of the other interesting and exciting kind of integration elements between Google Apps and SAP. So Srini, if you want to take it away, please.
Thank you, Brian. So I'm going to briefly talk about the docs and sheets integration. So as you all know, as an SAP customers are planning to use SAP, SAP is tightly integrated with Microsoft Office. Exchange is group where integration, and Office is like if you have a table of contents, you can upload them into a spreadsheet, or you have a doc that you want to attach to a lead, opportunity, order, a quotation. You can do that very easily. With Google Docs, currently it's not so easy to do that. I'll just show you a screenshot about how you currently do without using our enhancement. But by the way, this enhancement is not part of G-Connect. This is a separate enhancement for docs and sheets. So if you see here, the functionality we provided allows you to seamlessly attach any document from the user's Google Drive. So in a traditional, I just have an appointment here. So we are setting up an appointment. As part of the appointment, let's say I have to add a G-Connect overview document. And that overview document is in my Google Drive. Currently, for me to attach, the only way is I need to create a public link of my document and copy that URL and paste into that URL space and give a name and save. So you're copying, you're pasting, you're naming. So 3 steps. It's not so intuitive and easy. What we have done is, if you see, we added a button called Google Docs. What it does, when a user clicks on the Google Docs, their drive opens up. They could, as if they are making an attachment of a document in a traditional PC world, where your documents are on your PC, you just pick up the document and attach it. Likewise, you just go to your Google Drive. That actually launches does the authentication based on the user's Google Drive email credentials and opens it up. They just select it and attach it, and there is no real document that is being attached, and you're just sending a link to the customer. So customer, because you will set up that anybody who has the link would be able to view or download the document. They should be able to view or download the document. So it's that simple. So the second enhancement we are going to talk about is with the spreadsheets. The same thing. If you come to SAP from any grid or a table or a report, you should easily be able to export the contents into a spreadsheet by a click. But some of you may have concern, if I move to, and I like about Google Apps, it's in the cloud. All my documents are not, redundantly saved in 110 desks, and everybody can access this document in the cloud, and it saves a lot of resources, right? So, but at the same time, you don't have that functionality today. Today, the only functionality that you get if you migrated to Google Apps is that you still have to use that Microsoft Excel software for you to export the contents of your table or ALV grid. So that's the button you're going to click to export to Excel. But what if you want to export the contents to Google Sheets because you're using Google Apps? What we have done is we added Sheets to the menu. So when you click on Sheets, it does the same magic like when you click on Excel spreadsheet button. It exports the contents of the table or ALV grid into the Google Sheets, and it is saved into the user's Google Drive. So these are some of the enhancements that we already built for you. If you are, if you're already using Google Apps, if you are facing these kind of challenges, and our enhancement would solve your problems, or if you're planning to move to Google Apps, and rest assured that you have these tools to help you. And with this, back to Brian.
Thank you, Srini. Thank you. So yeah. So another thing we wanted to highlight, a lot of you, who are on Google Apps are using Google Mail and Google Contacts, as a result. So we wanted to show you another enhancement that we've been able to achieve. And so right now, if you've experienced it, adding custom fields for groups of users is not easy to add in Google Contacts. So, right now for an individual user, and you see my contact screen, this would be my screen, it's pretty easy to add custom fields for an individual contact. You literally just click on add, and then you're able to create this custom field. But it's not so easy if you wanted to create the contacts for an entire group. And so what we've done is try to simplify this process. And again, with the integration that you get between Google Apps and SAP, we're able to help achieve this and make sure. And so I just want to actually show you a real-world case scenario too. We've got a few more minutes, but I want to just show this to you because I think it is kind of helpful to see. So one second. We're going to go back to my mailbox, and we're going to go into contacts. And here, for example, now we're looking at Srini. We're looking at Srini. And say, for instance, we wanted to add a custom field. Let's say for this particular group, for a group of iService Globe employees, we wanted to keep track of compensation. So you add the custom field here and everything. And we're going to add like a customization.
One right here, yeah.
Oops. So let's say we're keeping track of Srini's custom compensation, and we have a little typo there. So we're only paying right now. We're paying Srini $70,000. Let's say. Now, in the same group, another employee. We'll go to Bhaskar this time, and you'll notice if we wanted to add a custom field, we don't have the option to add that compensation field that we just literally added for a user in the exact same group. And so what we'd be forced to do again is literally type it here again and add it in. Now let's say, though, if it wasn't the same individual, or sometimes it is the same individual, and this time they enter the same data as salary. Well, what you're seeing the potential for is a really big mess when it comes to the integrity of the data, how data is organized, how data is going to be captured, because these custom fields are so hard to add at a particular group level within Google Apps. So we've tried to solve this issue. The way we've solved this issue is giving you the ability to configure custom fields for multiple users at once. And so that way you won't have that issue. You would be able to add that same custom field for myself, for Srini, for Bhaskar, all at the same time. What also is helpful with this is that it then becomes also integrated with it's bi-directional synchronization between SAP CRM and Google Contacts. So not only will all the custom fields that you created within SAP CRM be able to get migrated over to your Google Apps contacts, but also the marketing attributes as well. So your sales team, your marketing team spend a lot of time customizing your SAP CRM system to add all those custom fields for whatever unique things are interesting for you and your sales team and your marketing team and your service team. Well, now you don't have to recreate those within Google Apps within the contact folder. We're able to give you that functionality and make it a lot easier. So to kind of wrap things up, I know we're right at the end mark. I want to pass it back on to Srini, and he's going to kind of talk about some of our custom integration roadmap and get into some just kind of a little summary of some of the stuff we've spoken about.
Thank you, Brian. I'll make it very brief. As you have seen that, we have demonstrated the Microsoft Exchange integration type of thing with our G-Connect, which is without using the traditional groupware integration. And also you have seen some of the enhancements that provide the Microsoft Office type of integration with the Google Drive, whether it comes to attaching documents to exporting the data. So one key element that I would like to talk about here is that we didn't just try to provide similar kind of Microsoft Exchange. We provided the better functionality than what's available with either Lotus Notes or Microsoft Exchange and Microsoft Office. On top of it, if you've noticed that everyone is migrating slowly or steadily towards the new technologies, whether it is a cloud, big data analytics, or mobile. So we cut our teeth in all this, social, mobile, analytics, and cloud. These days people started calling it as a SMAC. So the technology that is available as part of the G-Connect is based on the cloud, and it integrates your SAP CRM or SAP, which is traditionally on-premise. We build a bridge to integrate with the cloud applications, and also we use the latest, greatest technology so that you get this functionality on a tablet, because we haven't used any of the browser-based extensions to our tool. And as we've shown that the sidebar gadget, and also there is a contextual gadget, you could use those gadgets in a browser or on a tablet, even on a phone. These things work. So yeah, you could use your mobile app to even sync manually some of those emails if you want to sync. That functionality even available on a mobile phone. So you got an extensive, and also as you've seen that, slowly, the Salesforce particularly is moving towards the tablets. So we are using responsive web design to provide a seamless experience to your sales executives on their tablets or on phones. So our custom integration is not providing just an integration, but with the latest class of technologies. With that, I will pass it back to Brian.
Thank you, Srini. So yeah, wanted to get into the Q&A part now as well. So we do have some questions in the field. We'll get to those first, and then if you have any other questions too, any of you in the audience, please just feel free to put those in the chat window. First question is, and let me go to them. I want to make sure we get to them all. And for those of you who do have a time issue, we are running over. It's fine if you want to drop off. We'll be sending the recording, and we'll include the questions, in the recording and everything. So, we do thank you for attending, for those of you who have to drop off now. But first question is, do we have to sync the SAP CRM calendar, or can it sync the Google Calendar within SAP CRM?
Oh, this is a very good question. What we provided is that we provide sync settings in which you can actually decide, even though it supports bidirectional synchronization, you as a company has the control what you want to sync and in which direction you want to sync. So you can actually decide, okay, I only want to sync from Google to SAP, or from SAP to Google, or both. So we give that functionality as part of sync settings.
Thank you. Okay. So now another question. Is there a way to send a note when a follow-up is created with a respective party?
Oh, yeah, definitely. So if you've seen that, right, in the contact, there is a note function within the Google. And actually, when somebody types their notes, that notes also get synchronized into the text type into SAP CRM. Likewise, when they maintain, I know that a lot of sales executives try to put some internal notes, and if they want that to be available, that could be made sync too. Yes.
Gotcha. Now here's a question, a different type of question too. Can we do a similar sync between Salesforce and Google Apps?
You mean Salesforce.com?
Yeah, exactly. Salesforce.com and Google Apps related to, I believe, and Kumar, please let me know if I don't have this correct, but a similar sync is what we showed with Mail, Calendar, and Contacts.
Yeah, this can be extended to Salesforce.com also.
Yes. Okay, and Kumar, if that was not what you wanted the question as around Mail, Calendar, and Contacts, please just let me know, in the chat window. Also a question, can we also synchronize the call report with the appointment in SAP CRM?
The call report is, the first thing is, as I mentioned, I think we are trying to mix G-Connect with the MoGo Mobile. That function is only available from MoGo Mobile. So MoGo Mobile is not part of the G-Connect. G-Connect does what Microsoft Exchange integration, just to give you an idea, like Google Lotus Notes integration. That's what the functionality that provides between Google Apps and SAP. So if you're talking about the call notes, but if you put any notes on the appointment, like you type in notes, yes, notes get synchronized.
Got it. Okay, and another question is, are there apps available for SAP WM, IM, QM, PM?
For example, QM, we have an app that actually takes the picture of the, from the safety standpoint. Okay, there is oil spill. You can just take a picture, and it actually, records the GPS coordinates, and it creates a, depending on an incident or an event or a case, depending on your settings. Yes, that app is available.
All right. So we are just before the hour. There are a few other questions. For those, we do have to end this. I don't want to have everybody standing on too long. But what we'll do is follow up directly. So for those of you who have questions that we were not able to directly address, I will email you afterwards by tomorrow and everything, directly address those questions. As I said at the beginning, too, we will send out this webinar recording to all of you, and you can feel free to share that link with any of your team members and everything. You'll see my contact information is below on the screen. You can feel free to reach out to me with any questions you may have via phone, via email, or any way. And again, we'd like to thank you all for spending some time with us. Thank you all for your attention and all of your really great questions. We appreciate your interest, and we'll be following up soon. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.